the Hurricane Katrina down in New Orleans wasn't necessarily us, but possibly Russia doing their thing, and then we go and do our thing in Haiti. You know, all these things are going on in Indonesia and everywhere. And again, we can connect the dots here and say, okay, we've caused maybe a possible tsunami in Indonesia, and then we bring in a president from Indonesia, and now we're going to tear him down and break him down like we do every other entertainer in the world that is brought up to control us in a mind control situation. You know, it's all possible. And if for the person that asked this question, I recommend them to go to freeman.blogspot.com and look at his HARP videos, look at his Weather Wars videos. I mean, there's just a multitude of information available on freeman.blogspot.com or Freeman TV. The guy is absolutely amazing, and I just can't wait to have someone like him on my show. Yes. It's mind-blowing what he's capable of putting together with this puzzle pieces.
And you know, I also have some videos. I have quite a few videos related to HARP and Haiti that I downloaded and had put on my Facebook page. So if anyone who is going to listen to this is interested, definitely check those out. But yes, definitely check out the one on Freeman, because I have seen that, and he has some amazing videos there as well. But now you had asked, just to backtrack a little bit, you had asked, or you had made the comment more of, you know, why am I still alive? Why haven't they killed me? You know, and Duncan made a comment, and I'll tell you that's about that they're gearing up for something else. I will tell you that Duncan, Dave Corso, and a few other friends of mine who have been contacted by their respected, you know, their designated project. I was actually approached by an MIB about 2.5 months ago, maybe 3. And this happened close to where I live, and he sat down where I was at a coffee shop, and he began to, without really introducing himself, because there was no need, I knew automatically who he was, he began to tell me exactly what was going down as far as with me and what the next step of intentions were for me. Now, I had some very choice words for this individual. I told him that if he ever came near me again, I would kill him. And if he happens to be listening tonight, he knows who he is, stay the hell away from me. But we know, because there has been many things that I will not share, because the safety of these people are absolutely viable. I don't mind putting myself in harm's way, but I have to protect the others. But yes, they are gearing up for something. They're gearing up for something big. And from every piece of intelligence and everything that we have gathered, it's going to happen soon, and it's looking like it's going to happen prior to November. I hope that the agenda has to be changed because of other things. Now, just because they have a designated date doesn't mean it's going to happen on that date, because they are constantly having to change their timeline because of outside influences or because they have altered their plans. But a massive recall has been planned for people, various people that were part of Mark Ultra and other projects.
And for anybody listening to this show and listening to this information, I challenge you in your own atmosphere, in your own community, wherever you are, whether it be within your employment or whatever you do, your neighbors, share this information. And they may call you crazy at first, but I'm telling you, if you get enough knowledge and you can speak like Aaron speaks on this, or like some of the other guests you've heard on my show, it don't sound as crazy when you start putting the dots together and you start coming up with this picture that makes perfect sense. I have these conversations basically on a daily basis with a lot of different people. I see several hundreds of people a day in my work and what I do, and I know I'm making a difference, because I can really talk to somebody for like an hour and completely blow their mind, and now they're listening to this show. And I thank them for taking the time to listen to this show and to educate themselves and to really deprogram themselves from everything that they've ever been told that his story, and his story, all his story is, or history is the winner. The winner, whoever won the battle, is telling the story, and that doesn't mean it's the truth. There's a whole lot of things out there that are suppressed from us, and that's why our lives are filled with entertainment, so that we don't think.
That's absolutely correct. Yes, definitely. Well said. So I guess, I guess we can open up to just any questions that you guys have for me.
Well, let me see here. Like I said, it's just going to be you and I on the radio in the second hour. I don't have a co-host with me, as I'm not able to do that with my phone here. But I had a few questions written down here. Let me see what I can find. I was told by somebody actually in my work and talking to certain people, I was told that at UCLA for about $500 you can get maybe this type of information, your DNA test, and you can get a background as to what your native lineage is, like if you're Celtic or Indian or Italian or Syrian or whatever you may be. For some people who might be listening, that's a possibility. But again, with what you've stated, Aaron, that they may not want to tell you. I mean, I could see where they're coming from. Why would they want you to know this stuff? And obviously, they listen to our conversations. We're not paranoid, but we're also not in fear of these people, and that's why we're speaking out. And that's what people have a hard time understanding, is that we're not in fear, and that's the whole key, is to not be in fear, to be in love, work in love and light, and this is what white hats do. Can you touch on that term, white hats? I'm really trying to figure out what that means. I've had some real discussions with my father, who was actually within the DeMolays as a young child, and my grandmother was involved in some shamanistic type work, and I asked my father, there's rumors about that side of the family being practicing certain types of things, and I really was wondering if white hat was a term that you can speak about.
Jim, unfortunately, that is really not a term that I have much knowledge about. If that is something that in my past I had encountered, because like I have to remind the people who will be listening to this that a lot of the information I've given out that I am speaking about is most of it is information that has been brought to me or that I was a part of in recent years. And then also what I do is with the fragmented memories of my past, I take those and I spend days and days on maybe even one memory and one topic, and I see how it fits, because I have to be very careful about the information that I give out, because I do know for a fact that I have false memories, but fortunately I have the right connections now and the right people helping me to where I'm able to, decipher what is real and what is not real. So as far as the white hat thing, there are definitely other people who can speak a lot more in detail about that subject.
Yeah, and as far as meditation goes, I remember you had brought that up, that maybe you couldn't do some of that information, and that clicked with me. I remembered Duncan talking about the fact when he was in a meditative state and almost killed the person who was doing the meditation work with him. But I was also at that event where people said they were willing to work with you guys on this so that you can, tap into that. And are you willing to get into that?
I'm already currently. After I did my interview on the Kevin Smith show, and I do stay in contact with him on a regular basis. But it was shortly after I'd done my radio show with him. He had a gentleman on there by the name of Jeff Harvey, who I'm now in contact with. I think very highly of Jeff Harvey. Definitely, you can look him up. I believe his website is www.jefftech.net. The site is under reconstruction, but let me just explain what my connection is with Jeff Harvey now. Jeff Harvey, who was in naval intelligence and was definitely had some dealings with the Stargates, and I will just say, because I don't want to get into too much details because that's not something to speak of, but let me just say that there are some absolute commonalities that him and I share. I'll let you decide what that means for yourself. Jeff Harvey saw my video on Project Camelot.